Okay, okay, so this is what I want to show you guys. It has nothing much to do with cutting, but I just need to show you guys the idea on how I managed to get that casual gown. If you look at this now, the this material is now to 2 yards. This is 32, and I folded it into two now. So 32 times 2 is going to be 64. All right, and that is the wideness that is supposed to be the yards. So this is by 60, so which is good for me because the person length is by 60. So I folded it into two right now, and I'm going to show you how I managed to squeeze the neck. I squeeze this place, all right, and I'm going to have a turtleneck around here, all right, a turtleneck. One side is already open, all right. That side that is open, if the turtleneck stop here, you're going to start sewing from here down. This place is going to be the armhole where the arm is going to go out through, and you're going to use scissors to open this place, the same measurement with the other side, all right. And I have some accessories I'm going to place around the neck, and you can see it right there on the picture, all right. So I'm going to put this up straight and start cutting so you can see what the whole idea of the gown looks like. So I'm going to cut here open. I'm going to cut this place open by like 10 inches, right? So that will be the armhole, all right. So this is 10 inches. Now I open this place 10 inches, and right, this place also, the other armhole is going to be 10 inches also. Then you can see, if you want to sew this kind of casual gown, you need to use a graphic materials like chiffon, a very soft bridal satin or veil chiffon is what you're going to use, all right. Then you can have a turtleneck up there. Then when you're done with that, you're going to fold it into two, okay, because the turtleneck is going to have an open at the back. So you're going to open that place, then you use bias to turn it, and there's going to be a button on the turtleneck so that the person's head can go all the way through. So this is just as simple as it is. I'm going to show you how you can cut that turtleneck. So this is the turtleneck, and also I want to use a plain black material to cut the turtleneck, all right. And this is what I'm going to use to cut the pattern, to draft the pattern of the turtleneck. It's a collar stay. When I finish cutting the turtleneck to the shape I want, I place it on the black, and I have it in two layers that I'm going to use to turn each other inside out. So I have the neck 16 all round. The person's neck is 16. So since it's going to be 16, I'm going to add 1 inches each side. That means it's going to be 18 because of the zip allowance. The turtleneck is going to extend into this. The 1 inches is going to be on the zip allowance, while the 16 inches is the main turtleneck measurement. I have 18 inches for the turtleneck, right? So I'll fold it into two. Now that you have folded it into two, all right, if I was the one cutting this and this is not lecture, all I need to do is just simply draft it without measurement or anything. But since this is kind of a lecture, the turtleneck, you have to mark this place as 1 inches up here, right? So you have that 1 inches up here. Right here, from that 1 inches, you're going to take it down. As you're coming down, you're going to narrow it to this end, all right. You can see the line right now, okay, because a turtleneck cannot be straight, it has to be curved, all right. If you look at ready-made, even some can even be more curved than this, but don't do it too much. This will be okay, all right. Then whatever wideness you want the turtleneck to be, if you want it a high turtleneck, The more high it becomes, you have to increase your measurement. This is 16. I made it 16 because it's going to be 1 inches. Okay, but if you're doing turtleneck for those people that want it very wide, like 2 inches or 3 inches, they want it to cover the whole of their neck, you have to increase the measurement from that 16 inches. You can even add 1 inches or 1.5 inches to make it 17, 18. Okay, because the most important thing about the neck is not this downside, okay, is the upper side here. So if it's going to be wide, you have to increase the measurement from 16 to 17 or 17.5. But since it's going to be just 1 inches or less, okay, it's going to be just 1 inches wide. So you make it exactly that 16, and you draw the line. The line you're drawing the second time is going to follow this. Okay, make sure it's 1 inches all the way through. Okay, as simple as that. So now that you have done that, you just measure from here. All right, so this is 18 right now, so that's our measurement. So now you can cut. See, this is it, very tiny. All right, so right here at the edge here, if you want to curve it like, you know, a ready-made female shirt or male shirt, you can curve this edge, right? If you don't want to curve the edge, you can just make it a simple straight. But since this one is going on a gown, we just gonna make it straight. And this is what we get right now. This is what the turtleneck look like. So all we're just going to do now is place it on the main material. This is what turtleneck shape should look like when you finish cutting a turtleneck. And the most beautiful turtleneck are not the ones that are very wide. They're just these slim ones like this. They look very good on people's neck. So when you're done gumming the collar stay to the main material, this is where you're going to cut. Okay, as you're cutting this one, you need to leave an allowance, like ½ inch allowance around the turtleneck, the upper side and the lower side. All right, so you have to leave this kind of space around it. Okay, and if you want to sew the turtleneck, make sure you, as you're sewing, you don't sew on top of this collar stay, because it will be too thick for you to turn inside out. The work is going to be rough, so you have to follow the edge. Okay, on top of it is going to be on top of the materials you're sewing. It's not going to be on top of this at all. Don't let the machine touch the white collar stay because it's too thick. You see how simple this whole thing is. So if you want to use it to cut the second side that you're going to use to turn it, you can use this place. But before you do that, before you cut the second turnover, you have to iron this around it. So you can see that, right? I turn it, I use the one I cut, the one I extend out, I fold it the other way around because it's going to have to be inside. This is the outside part. Then you place it on top of this. Okay, now that you have placed it on top of it, you make sure these ones are well trimmed. All right, then when you want to trim this out, make sure you leave a space, like not up to ½ inches, but make sure that the space you're leaving is wider than the main one on top, but make sure the space is not up to 1 inches at all. This is the main collar, and this is the turn up. This is the one you're going to use to turn it inside out, just like that. So we're going to sew this place right now, and when you finish sewing it, this is what the turtleneck will look like. We said we're going to make this place, the zip allowance because it's going to be like this, right? So this is how it's going to be on the person's neck. You see that? This is how it's going to be, and I'm going to squeeze that material around it. I squeeze the first side of the material from here to here, this end side. Then while the other side I open at the back, the first side of it start from here to this place also, and the second one continue from here to there. And this is how simple this is. All right. So I have an applique after making the turtleneck. I have an applique around here that I place on top of the turtleneck. All right, and the applique make the turtleneck invisible for people to see. They don't know that there is turtleneck on this, but actually there is. That's the way I do it. That is how simple this was. It's a casual outfit. I know a lot of people want to do something like this, but I just have to make a little video for it. So I have sewed this, and if you look at it right now, you see the thread. I'm not sewing where the collar stay is. If you want to make it more interesting, you can add hemming gum to it so that when you press it once, it's just going to be flat. All right. You see that? Very flat and perfect. And this is, you can see this. The one inside is a little bit wider than the upper side. Okay, so that when you sew this edge right now and you turn it inside, you're just gonna sew on top of this place. All right, and you have to fold it into two and use scissors to mark the center of the turtleneck. All right, this is it. This is how simple it is.